In the rugged wilderness of 18th century America, the frontier was a place where danger lurked beyond every shadow. Dense forests stretched for miles, their silence broken only by the crack of a twig underfoot or the distant howl of a wolf. Settlers carved out lives on the edges of this wild land, forging communities and raising families, always aware that the world around them was untamed and unpredictable. Among these pioneers was a woman whose courage would become the stuff of legend, Anne Bailey, known as Mad Anne to some, but to her people, a savior. Anne Hennis Bailey's story began in Liverpool, England, but she found her destiny far across the ocean. As a young woman, she set sail for the American colonies, seeking a new life. Tragedy struck early when her first husband, Richard Trotter, was killed by Native Americans during Lord Dunmore's War. Grief could have broken her, but instead, it forged her into steel. Anne taught herself to shoot, ride, and survive, skills that were rare for women of her time and essential for life on the frontier. By the late 1770s, Anne had remarried and settled in the Greenbrier Valley of what is now West Virginia. The American Revolution raged in the East, but on the frontier a different war was being fought, one against hunger, isolation, and the constant threat of attack. Forts dotted the landscape, serving as sanctuaries in times of crisis. One such sanctuary was Fort Clendenin, a log stronghold near the Kanawha River, where families would gather when danger pressed too close. In the summer of 1791, that danger became all too real. Word spread that a large force of Native American warriors was moving through the region. The people of Fort Clendenin braced for attack, fortifying their defenses and rationing their supplies. But as the days dragged on, it became clear that they faced a dire problem. Their gunpowder was almost gone. Without it, they would be defenseless, their fort little more than a wooden shell. It was in this moment, with fear tightening its grip on the settlers, that Anne Bailey stepped forward. No one else dared attempt what needed to be done. The nearest supply of gunpowder was over 100 miles away at Fort Savannah in present-day Lewisburg, a journey through dense forests and hostile territory. It was a ride that would challenge even the bravest of men. But Anne, undaunted, volunteered to go. Alone, she mounted her horse and slipped out of the stockade under cover of darkness. The journey that followed was a test of endurance, skill, and nerve. Anne navigated by the stars, avoiding well-traveled paths where ambushes might wait. She forded rivers, pushed through undergrowth, and stayed ever alert to the sounds of pursuit. Hunger gnawed at her, exhaustion pressed down, but she pressed on, driven by the knowledge that the lives of her friends and neighbors depended on her. After days of riding, Anne reached Fort Savannah, delivered her urgent plea, and secured the precious gunpowder. Without rest, she turned around and began the long trek back, leading a pack horse laden with the life-saving cargo. The return was just as perilous, but Anne's determination never wavered. When she finally rode into Fort Clendenin, she was greeted as a hero. The settlers' relief was palpable, their hope restored by a woman who had defied the odds. Anne Bailey's legendary ride became a symbol of frontier grit and selfless bravery. For years afterward, she remained a guardian of her people, a familiar figure in buckskins astride her horse, always ready to defend and inspire. In the annals of American history, her story stands as a testament to the extraordinary courage that ordinary people can summon when everything is on the line.